Don't stop to catch your breath. They're going higher, 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 higher. Let go, set me free. Got the streets all I need. They're going higher, 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 higher. I'll keep running. I'll keep running. I'll keep running. Reach it, reach it. I'll keep running. I'll keep running. I'll keep running. Reach it, reach it. Boom, boom, can you feel the flame? Hold on, I can make it rain. Oh, do you hear the thunder? No, don't let it bring you down.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. We could be in for some serious offense today. The Saints are top 10 in total yards, and they go up against the Falcons defense that will need to be at the top of its game. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Guyton. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. They come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight. Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On second down, Ingram. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with third down looming. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on second down. They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a hunting down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back near the 48-yard line.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
He dumps it down to Ingram. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. Oh, another spin.
Hard to line him up when he does that.
And he is finally out of bounds all the way down at the 30. A big play there. Ryan to Jones. 44 yards. Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Caught by Sanu. Shifts free at the 15. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. A good pickup there at 22. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and wearing...
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. This crew, they were on a roll going into the bye week that they just had, Charles, so sort of picking up where they left off.
And you and I both know that when you come back off of an open week and you've been winning games, you should get a few extra days off in order to recharge and refuel. But coaches often hedge their bets, too. They'll bring them back and work them really hard that first practice back to make sure that they're back and grounded.
Whatever they did, formula looking good so far in this one. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And, you know, their previous possession, they were able to move the football, but still wound up punting in the end.
You know, in 2016, Carolina had a 20-play drive that lasted over 10 minutes. And remember how it ended?
And a blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Come on, let's go!
A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And not much there at all, as he'll get this only up to about the 11. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
I can't help it. I'm just sitting back in admiration right now. This defense tells everyone that plays against them, you're not beating this running game.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up.
Here we go!
Operating from the gun, Cole. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Taking it about the 36. Freeman with a fast feet. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive, as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field.
They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
The 15 yards there on the catch and run. The front office all smiles when the ink went dry on this new contract.
Not only them, how about the coaching staff? Because oftentimes the front office and the coaching staff may have different opinions about the value of a player. I think everyone was in sync on this one. He's a guy that they needed to keep.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. The Falcons averaged 34 points a game last year, tops in the NFL with that powerful offense, and they're already looking for more here as they've got it 1st and 10. Now Ryan. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
This is caught. It's Sanu this time for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
A drive there of just 4 plays. And the Falcons score to cap it off. Now here's Bryant to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he's able to hold on to the football.
He gets it to Thomas. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Let's go! Brand 38!
Throwing on first down. Cole. And I think the ball's out. And the ball ends up out of bounds, so it'll be a loss on the play.
Now I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball and goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not there for him.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Back to throw. Cole. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. We get a look at the Saints defense as they file into position. And with this deficit, let's be honest, it's time for them to get a stop.
And partners, you understand very well from our time together and visiting with coaches, defensive coordinators tend to be a little more emotional, a little more high-strung than others.
They are.
I have a feeling that speech came out about taking a stand and bowing up in this possession.
Yeah, that's where this word pride comes out, right?
In a big way.
So Ryan out, getting looked at on the sidelines. And coming on is the backup quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Escaping the pressure right. Room here to run. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. Now it's Freeman. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in the old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running backs quicker than ever before.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. Here's Sanu on the catch. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. Now Garoppolo throwing on second. The left side completion to Jones. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Around the NFL, an update from a game going on down in Tampa. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Cam Newton with 1 touchdown pass thus far. Now here's Bryant to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board. Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top as we send you over to our headquarters in Orlando, where we check in with Larry Ridley for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, let's get straight to it. Here's some highlights from the first half. First and 10, Matt Ryan to his big play receiver, Julio Jones. And he'll end up at the 30-yard line before being tackled. Later on the drive, Matty Ice. Matt Ryan hits on the pass into coverage. And this play goes for a score. Falcons up by a touchdown. About halfway through the second, Sanu's wide open here on the catch. And that's a house call. The Falcons up by 2 touchdowns. Late in the second, Garoppolo's able to scramble away and complete the pass. And he ends up at the 49-yard line before he stopped on the play. Still a little time left on the clock. Julio Jones making the grab in traffic. And this 5-play drive goes for a touchdown.
Okay, Larry, a fairly one-sided first half as we get set to go in the second half. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. Bust through the tackle. They find some open field here.
An update from a game going on over in Tampa. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Cam Newton with 2 first-half touchdown passes. Getting set to go again on offense. We get a peek at Julio Jones now. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And that one results in 35 yards.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Eluding the and he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Matt Ryan with his 3rd touchdown of the ball game, number 12 on the season. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
Now here's Bryant to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his...
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Now remember, this is the number 1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Here's Bryant for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. To throw on second down. Cole. And his throw here is incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. And it's 3rd and 4.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes it's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
Looking to throw. Cole. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This is taken at the 15. Freeman with a fast feet.
Exactly. This is the reason I told him not to do that game. This is the reason. Now he's hurt. The freak. Some stupid jump. Why the freak would you put him there?
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
On 1st and 10, Ryan flush to his right. Sanu with a grab over the middle. Look at the spin.
Balance.
And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 41 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons continue to pour it on.
Offensive line coaches always tell their guys, if we score touchdowns, that means we got to the end zone first. That's exactly what those blockers did, clearing the way for their back.
And he's got it up and through. Now here's Bryant to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time.
The pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Back now here live in New Orleans. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So out come the Falcons now. And Charles, in a very one-sided affair, I think we reached the point in the broadcast where you and I, we may have some filling to do, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that because we got to try and keep people around. We don't want them to change the channel. Stay with us in this game. Is that Ben Ramsar? Are you hearing from Ben on the headset here? Tell us, stretch this thing out a little bit.
Get some talking points. Dig them all out.
That's what you get. A big-time producer. Keep them here.
Second and 10 now. Ryan. Flushed out right. And he comes back with one complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is because you got to get his attention because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 12 more yards there and another first down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
Throwing the out route and complete. It's Jones. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. On first down, Ryan. Escaping the pressure right. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. On second down, Ryan. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone. Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end's going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight windows are there and how many bodies are there. And sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
No.
Third and long. It's Ryan. He hits his target. It's the tight end, Toilolo. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for, and this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, his first touchdown on the year, and the Falcons add on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? No. I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Now here's Bryant to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism,
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tech McKinley. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now it's Ryan. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Tyrone Crawford in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Partner, I know the ball security's preached like crazy, but every now and then you've got to know when to get rid of the football and save a little bit of yardage if you're a quarterback.
Because now if you're the offensive coordinator, what does it do if it was 3rd and 10 versus 3rd and much longer as it is now?
Yeah, it changes everything in terms of play calling and the pressure you might expect to face on the very next down. Had to throw the ball away and save the yardage. He didn't get it done.
And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. Time for a break. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 1st down, Ryan. Caught by Jones. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Ryan wants to throw it. Flush to his, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Now here's Bryant to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Here we go.
From the gun on third down, Cole. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Illegal forward pass, offense.
So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Taken in at the 22. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. That game's gone final in Indianapolis. And scoring yet again, the Colts extend that lead. Andrew Luck, 2 touchdown passes in the W. That one looks like he'll throw here. Flushed out right. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down. And this looks to probably be the final play. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And Jones has it over the middle. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for Atlanta, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they will head home next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from the Bayou.